The moment when past and present collide on a basketball court can change everything in an instant. That's exactly what happened during a crucial Indiana Fever game when Caitlin Clark's eyes swept across the sold-out crowd and locked onto a familiar face that brought her entire world rushing back in a flood of memories. The reaction that followed wasn't just about basketball. It was about family, sacrifice, and the people who shaped the journey of a young woman who would become the face of an entire sport. But who was this mysterious figure from her past? Whose presence could stop the WNBA's biggest superstar in her tracks? What history did they share that could create such an overwhelming emotional response in front of thousands of fans and millions of viewers? The story behind this moment reveals the human side of greatness and the connections that transcend even the brightest spotlight. The emotional weight of professional sports often extends far beyond the game itself, encompassing the relationships and experiences that shape athletes into the competitors they become. For Caitlin Clark, whose rapid rise to WNBA stardom has been nothing short of meteoric, the journey to professional success included countless individuals who contributed to her development both as a player and as a person. The intensity of professional basketball combined with the unprecedented attention she has received since entering the WNBA can sometimes overshadow the personal connections that remain central to who she is beneath the spotlight. Clark's path to becoming the WNBA's most recognizable player began long before her record-breaking rookie season with the Indiana Fever. Growing up in West Des Moines, Iowa, she was surrounded by a community of coaches, mentors, and supporters who recognized her exceptional talent from an early age. Her high school career at Dowling Catholic High School was marked by remarkable achievements and the guidance of individuals who helped nurture her skills while keeping her grounded in the values that would carry her through the challenges of elite competition. The transition from Iowa to the University of Iowa represented a significant milestone in Clark's development both athletically and personally. During her 4 years playing for the Hawkeyes under coach Lisa Bluer, she not only broke numerous records and led her team to unprecedented success, but also formed relationships with coaching staff, teammates, and university community members who became integral parts of her support system. The emotional connections forged during those college years created bonds that would remain important throughout her professional career. Her college career included memorable moments that showcased not just her basketball skills, but also her character and emotional depth. The relationship between Clark and coach Lisa Bluer became particularly significant as Bluto provided both strategic guidance and maternal support during Clark's transformation from highly recruited prospect to national phenomenon. The coach's influence extended beyond basketball fundamentals to include lessons about handling pressure, maintaining perspective, and staying connected to the relationships that matter most. The emotional stakes of Clark's final college games, particularly the NCAA tournament runs that captivated national audiences, demonstrated her ability to perform under intense pressure while remaining connected to the people who had supported her journey. The tears shed during both victories and defeats revealed the depth of her investment in success, not just for herself, but for the teammates, coaches, and community members who had become family during her college years. The draft process and transition to professional basketball required Clark to navigate new relationships while maintaining connections to the people who had been central to her development. The Indiana Fever organization became her new professional family, but the bonds formed during her amateur career remained important sources of strength and motivation. Questions arise about how elite athletes maintain these personal connections while adapting to the demands and pressures of professional sports careers. Clark's rookie season with the Indiana Fever has been defined by unprecedented success and attention, but also by the emotional challenges of adapting to professional basketball while living under constant public scrutiny. The pressure of being the #1 draft pick, combined with the expectations generated by her college success, created situations where the support of trusted mentors and family members became crucial for maintaining both performance and emotional well-being. The relationship between athletes and their support systems often becomes more complex as careers progress, and success brings new challenges and opportunities. For Clark, whose rapid ascent to stardom has been accompanied by intense media attention and commercial success, maintaining connections to the people who knew her before the fame becomes both more difficult and more important for staying grounded in her values and identity. The emotional demands of professional basketball extend beyond the physical challenges of competition to include the psychological pressure of representing not just oneself, but also family, community, and the broader sport. Clark's role as the face of the WNBA's growth and increased visibility creates additional emotional weight that requires strong support systems and meaningful personal connections to navigate successfully. Sports psychologists note that elite athletes often rely on visual connections to important people in their lives during moments of high stress or emotional intensity. The presence of familiar faces and crowds can serve as anchors that help athletes maintain perspective and emotional stability during the pressure of professional competition. These moments of recognition and connection can provide strength and motivation that extends far beyond the immediate game situation. The crowd dynamics at WNBA games have changed dramatically since Clark's arrival in the league. With attendance figures reaching historic levels and creating atmospheres that rival major college basketball environments, the energy and emotion generated by these larger, more engaged crowds can amplify both the positive and challenging aspects of professional competition, making personal connections and emotional support even more significant for player performance and well-being. Clark's impact on Indiana Fever attendance has created situations where games regularly feature sold-out crowds that include not just local fans but also supporters who travel from across the country to witness her performances. These audiences often include people from various stages of her basketball journey, creating opportunities for meaningful moments of recognition and emotional connection during games. The business side of professional basketball has brought Clark into contact with numerous individuals who contribute to her success behind the scenes. From trainers and support staff to media relations professionals and marketing representatives. While these relationships are primarily professional, many of them develop personal dimensions that can become important sources of support and perspective during the challenges of a professional basketball career. Clark's social media presence and public persona have made her more accessible to fans while also creating new challenges for maintaining privacy and authentic personal relationships. The balance between public engagement and personal connection requires careful navigation, particularly when dealing with people from her past who may not be accustomed to the attention that comes with being associated with a high-profile athlete. The financial success that has accompanied Clark's professional career has created new opportunities for supporting the people and causes that matter to her while also requiring careful consideration of how to maintain authentic relationships without the complications that can arise from significant wealth and fame. The ability to give back to coaches, mentors, and community members who contributed to her success becomes both an opportunity and a responsibility that adds emotional complexity to these relationships. Family dynamics often become more complex when one member achieves extraordinary success and public recognition. For Clark, whose family has been central to her development and success, maintaining close relationships while navigating the demands of professional basketball requires ongoing attention and effort from all parties involved. The emotional support provided by family members becomes even more crucial during the high-pressure situations of professional competition. The role of former teammates in an athlete's emotional support system can be particularly significant as these individuals understand the unique challenges and pressures of competitive basketball in ways that others might not. Clark's relationships with former Iowa teammates who are now pursuing their own professional careers create ongoing connections that provide mutual support and understanding during the transitions and challenges of post-college basketball. Coaching relationships often extend far beyond the formal end-of-player-coach interactions, with former coaches remaining important mentors and sources of guidance throughout athletes' careers. The emotional bonds formed through shared challenges and successes in competitive basketball can create lasting relationships that provide stability and perspective during the ups and downs of professional sports careers. The Iowa basketball community's response to Clark's professional success has demonstrated the lasting impact of the relationships she formed during her college career. The continued support from Hawkeye fans and the university community provides ongoing motivation and emotional connection to the place and people who were central to her development as both a player and a person. Community connections from Clark's hometown and high school years remain important sources of identity and grounding, providing reminders of her roots and the values that guided her development long before professional success and fame. These relationships offer perspectives and support that can be particularly valuable during challenging moments in professional competition. The mentorship relationships that Clark has developed with former WNBA players and basketball professionals provide additional layers of support and guidance as she navigates her professional career. These connections offer insights into the long-term challenges and opportunities of professional basketball while providing examples of how to maintain personal relationships and values throughout successful careers. The emotional intelligence required to maintain meaningful relationships while pursuing excellence in professional basketball demands significant maturity and intentionality. Clark's ability to stay connected to the people who matter most while adapting to the demands of professional success reflects the character development that has been as important as her basketball skills in achieving sustained success. The pressure of representing not just herself but also her family, community, and the broader sport creates additional emotional stakes that make personal connections even more significant. The ability to draw strength and perspective from trusted relationships becomes crucial for maintaining both performance and emotional health during the intense demands of professional basketball competition. Looking toward the future of Clark's career and continued development, the relationships that have been central to her journey will likely remain important sources of strength and guidance. The challenge will be maintaining these connections while continuing to grow as both a player and a person in the demanding environment of professional basketball. The broader implications for professional athletes include the recognition that success in elite competition requires not just physical and technical development, but also emotional intelligence and the ability to maintain meaningful relationships that provide support and perspective throughout the ups and downs of competitive careers. If you're as moved by the power of personal connections in professional sports as we are, go ahead and like this video. Drop your thoughts in the comments. How important do you think personal relationships are for professional athletes dealing with intense pressure? Have you ever had a moment where seeing someone from your past created an overwhelming emotional response? We want to hear your perspective on how personal connections help us navigate life's biggest challenges. Then hit subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss our coverage of the human stories behind professional sports success. Thanks for watching.